Hi guys, welcome to another iContent video. I'm still getting used to these, so I've got a few notes, forgive me. Production is not going to be as good as Caroline, I'm sure. But anyway, here we go. So during our sales process, during the times we talk to people about content, online marketing, and how they can use their site, we often get asked the question, why do we need to add content? I recently wrote a blog on this, but I entitled it, What happens if I do nothing on my website? So this is whether you've started doing something and stopping, whether you've launched a site, or whether you're just curious, what is content, or how can you develop your site online? So the first thing to address is it doesn't seem logical, does it, to just launch a site and do nothing with it? It might be that you have a lot of referrals offline, a lot of business offline, and people are asking if you've got a website until you built one to direct them to when they ask that question. But it's the same as opening a shop. You wouldn't open a land-based shop, not put posters in the window, not offer sales, not offer information inside, not develop your shop as you go through the sales process. Because the website, often gets developed and changed as your business grows, right? So this video is about talking about whether you've, as I've said, whether you've just launched a site, whether you've had a site for a long time, you're thinking about whether you could do more to it, and why would you do more? Okay. So there's a few areas that we're going to talk about. The first is SEO. You've all heard of that. SEO, online marketing, what is it? We're not going to do a deep dive on that today. But basically, a lot of websites and web designers launch a site and it's like having the shutters down. There's key areas to a website that you need to include keywords in. You need to have a certain structure with your site. So for example, a top tip, I'm sure we've covered this before, is you don't have all your services on one page. So we won't go into a massive detail about the SEO today, because we're just talking about things you need to do, or the question is, what happens if I don't do anything? Well, you need to do SEO. So whether you do it yourself, whether you come speak to us, whether you use someone else, you need to focus each page around keywords to get the rankings up, to get eyes on site, to get visitors, right? Indexing. Okay, so the way indexing works is this. We'll talk about Google. It's the number one search engine, but they all do this. They have a little bot that comes into your site on your server and lists all your pages in code form. So the remit of Google is to show, in the search results, the most common or latest version of your website. It can't have outdated information because people will stop using it. It has to be up to date and most current. So it's kind of hungry for content, right? So if it keeps coming into your site and your site hasn't changed, it will start coming in weekly, then it will start coming in monthly, and then it will just drop off, because why waste the resource of coming back to your site when it knows that nothing changes? So a good example of content there is if you add content or you regularly add content, it forces Google to come back to your site, and it means that most of the blog content that you put on there will go into the indexes straight away. So you could have responses for blogs if you're a very active site within hours of posting it. So that's the first, that's the second one. Then we're talking about content. So we've already discussed the indexing side of it. But what about your human customers? What about visitors to your site? Or what about getting visitors to your site? Well, it's about including yourself in your customer's narrative, in their buying process. We're going for a stage at the moment where we're looking at the different stages of our buyers process and answering questions and uploading content like this in those different phases of the the buying process. So answering questions or asking questions and answering questions that your customers are asking themselves about the market you're in, fantastic. Update your site with product information, service information. Just get yourself in front of your customers, so they start associating you, and Google does, with the content and the kind of products and services. The more you put out basically about your products and services and information around that kind of area, the more Google will understand what you're about. So again, it's engagement as well. So content and engagement, and it leads me on to engagement. So one of Google's parts of their algorithm is how people engage with your content and your site and your other socials. The more people engage, the more popular they see you as, the more content that you throw out that people engage with, they understand is about your products and services, the more your rankings will go up. So it's kind of like a message from your site, and then how people are engaging with that? Are they liking it? Are they sharing it? Are they linking to it? That's all a real big factor as to how you rank and how you get positioned in the search engines and across the socials. So make sure that whenever you're adding content, you add content that speaks to your clients, but also across the socials. So I've been told not to keep these videos to keep them short, and I'm not known for keeping things short. So I'll wrap it up now. So ultimately, whichever position you're in, whether you're an online business, an offline business that has a website, you've launched a website and you don't know what to do with it, those 4 factors will go a long way. Make sure the site's SEO'd or focused, and the customer journey through the site's good. Make sure you're concise and it speaks about you and who you are through the site, right? Make sure you add content on a regular basis because of the indexing factor. Make sure you add content that speaks to your clients so that they understand you and you engage them and get in that buying process. And make sure when you add the content, you share it and you're adding content in the way that people want to share, like, etc. I hope that helped. Sorry for the fuzzy background, but yeah, here we are. So have a great rest of your Sunday or Monday, and I'll speak to you soon.